figures that if you have, let's say you want to go to an Ifa person. That figure that will comes out from them, that they will then begin to interpret. Let's say you don't have Opele, you don't have all those things that they normally use to cast Opele, or all those those things that they usually use to cast Ifa something. If you don't have them and you want to use you want to use this system base this thing to geometry to cast that same chart and bring that two figure. This is what you will need to do. You cast your chart the way you normally cast it, and you go to house 4 and house 5. Those are the two Ifa. Those are the two figures that if you know how to interpret Ifa. So these are the like this chart I created. I just casted it for this. In fact, this was the chart I used in that first video that was telling you I should go to Ifa. This was the chart, so I just recreated it again. So this is the chart. So this is the, you just don't need to go and be getting all those. If you don't have Opele, you don't have all those things, you can just cast your chart like this. Then this is the one. So that is if you know how to interpret. So you then interpret this figure the way the Ifa people will have interpreted these two figure if it comes out for them. If it comes out for them, this is the one figure. So like if in Ifa now, this one is called Irosun or warning. Irosun or warning. This one is called Irosun or warning. Irosun or warning. Do you understand? But this is Irosun. This is on one. So you then interpret it. Since you are not a geomancer, you don't need to get yourself concerned with all this rest of the rest of this information here. These are the two figures you interpret like an Ifa person. So which means that you are using geomancy to interpret to pass Ifa message. You understand? But so this video is just to center on this one, how to bring out the two figures that usually comes out if you have used Opele or you have gone to Ifa people to this is the same way if you don't have Opele, you don't have those things. Now let me now talk about how it is linked to the previous talk that I was saying, all those videos that I said. The reason why this one is linked to it is because in that first video I told you that you should go to Ifa because they are the one that will give you two figure. Now and I explained in that video that there's a way you can also bring that two figure instead of you going to that Ifa. Let's say somebody now comes to you. The person is now asking that you should give him or her two figure. Maybe he said something. Maybe he wants to go and do further clarification, further something. If this is what you use to cast your chart, it is not this two figure you will give the person. If the person wants to go and do further confirmation of what you say, maybe the person is doubting what you say, and you want to ask the person, okay, you have the right to go elsewhere to go and it is not this two figure you will give them. It is not house 4 and 5. This house 4 and 5 is for you. Let's say you are the one that want to interpret. No, there's not like doubt or there's not like clarification. You are the one that want to interpret that chart. So this is what you use. I've used another video to explain that if such a person comes to you, let's say the person doesn't want to go to an Ifa and the person want to ask you for two figure. I've told you in that video that you will use. So you go and watch that video. It is a different case entirely. But these are the houses of the two figure that usually. But if an Ifa, let's say the person goes to an Ifa, the person now requests for two figure. These are the figure the person they will give the person. So I'm not sure this what I'm saying is like if I'm clumping things or I'm lumping things together. But if you patiently listen and carefully follow along, you understand what I'm saying. You understand? But so I explain again that these two are the two figures. If you don't have Opele, you don't have, these are the two figures that usually. And if you know how to interpret Ifa or something, these are the two somethings you will interpret as an Ifa person. But let's say you have casted this chart. Sorry, let's say you want to give two figures to somebody that want to take to an Ifa person to interpret. It is not this two figures you will give. I've just explained it in a previous video on how to bring out that two figures. So that is what you give to a person that asks you for such things. Do you understand? Ba? So I hope I've been able to explain this particular aspect. However, let's say somebody brings two figure from an Ifa person to you. That this is the figure that it comes out from that Ifa. Maybe somebody has been to an Ifa person. It's not telling you that in that if the Ifa person say this and that, and these are the figure that comes out. So now if you want to, maybe the person now saying he needs clarification on what that person said, maybe what that Ifa person said, and he brought that thing. I've taught you how to use that two figure to create a chart. You can it's still in that videos I have said earlier. how to use so I'm referring to two videos. There's a two video prior before this one. There's a two video prior before this one. Do you understand? But there's a two video prior before this one that I've done. So in that video, I've explained all of these things. So let's say the person I've used told you that, well, how do you generate like, because this was example of the videos in that previous show. So I don't want to lump things up. So I've told you how to, let's say the person I bring to figure, I've told you how to use two figure to generate a system geometry chart. Just like in this one now, I have explained to you the word how, like in this one, you are using geometry to generate two figures. By doing this one, you just do this one. You understand? Right? So how to then use Ifa figures to generate geometry? It's like vice versa. Do you understand? This one, let's say you don't have Opele, you don't have something, you want to generate something. You cast your chart the way you normally chart it, and you go to house for these are the two figures. That is how to use geometry to generate Ifa figure, the two figure. Now, how to use Ifa figure to generate geometry, I've explained that in the previous video where I was talking about how to use two figures to generate the persistent table. So it is vice versa. But I don't want you to make mistakes. That's why I want to repeat this one. Let's say somebody comes to you and he says should give you to maybe what you have said. The person needs further clarification. The person is in doubt. I've told you that, well, you give the person two figure, then you take it wherever you want to take it to. So I've told you, I've explained how where you bring that to, how to do that. I've told you in that video. So I hope I have been able to explain this clearly and soundly without any mistake. Which means with this knowledge I just showed you, let's say you are a geometer and you're also an Ifa person. So let's say you just want to cast the chart. If you don't want to use your geometry knowledge, maybe you know you understand Ifa very well. So you just cast this. All of this is just if you know the meaning of this figure according to Ifa interpretation, this is what you just be interpreting. So that is why this is what some people usually there are some are fast that doesn't know geometry. You understand? Sorry, they do that. Sorry, Astagfirullah, that they know geometry, they know Ifa as well. So once another geometry comes to them, they may decide not to interpret geometry in the chart and interpret Ifa. And that person that is before them that knows geometry will then be taking, maybe that person is using what we call Omo. That is, using terrestrial knowledge to interpret the chart, or using maybe gene or something, because the geometry that is standing before the person doesn't know where the message is coming from. So sometimes when you sit beside the geometer and geometer is interpreting a chart and you are looking for where is he seeing that message, you may not see because he might be doing another test differently from what you think he's doing. Taking for instance now, let's say somebody that maybe you should not go to a geometer. The geometer is not interpreting this one, house one or whatever. He's not doing something. He focus on this one. He's interpreting just to show that you are. Do you understand that? So I hope you have understand the essence of this. And let's say you learn Ifa or blah blah blah, you still want to practice or something. Because there are some people who are Muslim, but they cannot be doing Ifa something in the presence of fellow Muslim, because that fellow Muslim might begins to see them as what is this one doing, and he call himself Muslim, begins to say all sort of things. You understand? And you understand? So that is one of the another essence of these things, another value, another you understand by. So I hope you have gotten the point. So you cast your chart. I repeat again, if somebody asks you for two figures, it's not this one. No. This one is for somebody that is a geometer that knows Ifa something, that uses this one to do this one, and that is the two. But if somebody asks you, I've told you in that video, so I don't want to repeat same thing. I hope the point is very clear and understand. So once it is when you ask question that will then, if I would you did not understand, then it will then bring a further explanation. But with this, I hope you have been able to get the main point. So thank you very much. I really appreciate your time and your efforts to understand the whole explanation. Thank you very much. But I encourage you to subscribe so that whenever I make a new video, you can always get notification that the post has been posted. You can easily watch it on time. And I also encourage you to share my video as a sadako for receiving free lecture. You understand? But share. It's a way of doing sadako for receiving free lecture like that. So share the video. That is the only sadako you can do. You understand? But so share as a sadako for receiving free lecture. So you are subscribing for your own benefit, because whenever a new post is made, you can easily get notification that the post has been posted. So but share is just for as a sadako for receiving free lecture. Thank you very much. May God bless you.